Ladies and gentlemen, spoiler alert, the coalition is here and live to discuss me and the dragon right here, breathing some fire in the throes of summer because we're headed for a heat wave. Those of us here on the West Coast, specifically in the Mark by Wrestling neighborhood, are literally experiencing a heat wave, but figuratively and wrestlingly, we're going to be talking NXT Heatwave, and we can't do that without a full coalition. Here comes the Axe, and here comes the Smasher. It's AJ and Becky, the coalition.
Here comes the
partners.
Axe. Here comes the Smasher.
And if
Demolition. Yeah.
they're not in the Hall of Fame by next year, I'm going to drive to wherever it is they're meeting these days, Tampa, Stanford, I don't know, and raise
Kane.
some complaining.
And raise
Yes.
Kane.
Raise King.
We're going to raise Kane.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So,
Yeah. There you go.
there's a whole lot of things going on, and we're gonna try to keep it to NXT, keep it to Heatwave, because
All right.
we're gonna try to do what we can to not go too long tonight, so we don't end up in a Rob Thomas and Santana song.
All right.
It's a hot one, set like 7 inches through the midday sun. So these lights feel a little brighter in the heat waves these days. But that being said, I'll ask you guys one quick question that is off topic before we get to heat wave, and that is we have brand new news. The ESPN app is the new ESPN app is now live. And WWE PLEs are going to be, we've learned that Clash in Paris is going to be the last Peacock proper PLE for WWE. And we're going to be having WrestlePalooza, which, before everybody hates on that name real quick, just history moment. That's the name of an old ECW show from back in the day that they have dug up out of the dirt and cleaned off and over sanitized. And that'll be coming September the 20th. Once again, countering apparently some other wrestling shows that may be happening that same day. Anyways, so things got a little fast in things being delivered. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Are you ready to make a switch? What are you planning on doing? How do we feel about it?
For me, I will simply say this: ladies first. There you go.
I mean, we don't have to make any switches, right? I don't think we have to make any switches since we have the bundle.
Well, yeah, for us, I don't think it's going to be any big deal. I know we were talking about this before with the idea that if you don't have cable or don't have some kind of because I think Hulu did like a Hulu ESPN bundle or something. I could be wrong. Disney Plus, somebody did something that packaged ESPN in there.
So yeah,
but Spectrum has something going on.
So the way it's being offered, because that's what I currently have. I mean, I'm going to try to keep using Netflix like I use for NXT. Just so I don't have any added expenses. But I will say this: I currently do have the Disney, Hulu, ESPN Plus bundle, and I think that's like either 19 or 24 a month or something. And the email I got yesterday or so said for $29 a month, they're basically going to replace. They're going to replace ESPN Plus with this ESPN app, because anything you would have gotten in ESPN Plus will be in this ESPN app. So basically you're paying and they said that's good for the first year. So basically you get all three of those services for $29 instead of just ESPN for $29.
Gotcha.
Which is not a bad deal. I'm going to have to do a little streaming subscription overview to see what I'm still paying for these days. And see if it's worth it, because I might.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say I might end up canceling YouTube TV over this, because if I can still get like my college football, which is the only thing I really like, that's what I got YouTube TV for in the first place, during football season. So I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's not gonna. The channel's still going to be here doing channel things. I know that.
Yeah, you got to make a list and check it twice. Make sure you're making the right decision.
I sent you to a TikTok, which I thought was funny. It's like, are we ever going to get a break? So they kind of laid out all of the WWE shows and whatnot, where they all are. So It's Mondays Raw on Netflix, Tuesdays NXT on CW, Wednesdays Evolve on Tubi, Friday SmackDown on USA, Saturday night's main event quarterly, that's on Peacock, premium live events monthly going to ESPN, and AAA possibly more than likely is just going to be sticking on YouTube.
Sticking on YouTube, yeah.
That's that.
He's dominating the marketplace.
Portfolio, dude.
Right,
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
It's pretty outrageous. I wasn't ready for it to jump on to ESPN quite as quickly. Another app, but I guess we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And I'll say one more thing before we get to NXT, and if you guys want to chip in on this, that's fine too. They've also said that Cena's last match is going to be a Saturday night's main event that is only going to be on Peacock. It will not be on NBC on December 13th. And so there was a part of me that said, I'm like, wow, Goldberg got NBC, but Cena doesn't. But you know what that means? If they're not on primetime TV, less commercials. So I think they might actually, I'm sure they'll go as hard as they can to try to make sure they do right by Cena. But with that information, how do you guys feel about that? And then we'll hop into Heatwave.
So are we going to like a Beavis and Butthead, like in the middle of the ring? Like
I don't know. A bunch.
Cornelio. I'm such an adult.
You said comics.
Yeah, this is we experience the original. Okay, so
yeah.
it's look. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I'm soured on this whole John Cena situation right now. I'm soured. It's been a hot mess. I know he's gonna be on SmackDown tomorrow night. Fine, let's just see what he's got to say. I just, how I felt about this. I wanted heel Cena to continue to rock that belt and retire with this thing.
Rock the belt.
If he's a face now, fine. I hated the about face turn immediate with no build up. It just was. It just all built up to nonsense. That's what this whole Cena thing has been for me this year. It's just built up to complete nonsense and back and forth. And so at this juncture, if that's his last match, hey, I look forward to 2026 and not seeing him. Okay, I will leave it at that. Let's all move on.
Yeah, you're saying it could use a little finessing. Sorry. Anyway,
you know what? Dwayne,
I'm just needling AJ here. Sorry, I didn't mean it.
Your shoulder, DJ.
I will say this, and maybe the closer we get to it, we'll talk about it one of these nights. But with the Cena we have right now, the one we've been given, I for one think I have a fantastic idea for his last match.
All right,
but that's with the Cena we have, not the one we wish we were getting. So anyway, I'll put that on the back burner because we have some front burning to go. The Coalition Cup, ladies and gentlemen, currently held by the man in all the gold, which is me right now. You're defending Coalition Cup champion. The Coalition Cup will be on the line Sunday for NXT Heatwave. And another great NXT PLE coming to you live 4 p.m. West Coast time, 7 p.m. East Coast time. And I didn't even ask you guys, so forgive me. I'm being a terrible host if you guys are going live. I'll of course be live for that. NXT is my little baby in the coalition, but are you going to be live as well or not this time around?
We will not.
Okay, everybody.
We will have a house full of kids. So no, we will be watching, but we will not be live for that. So fellow coalition member will rock the boat.
Yes,
I will turn on the
chat, though.
I will turn on the AC. You guys come in, and we'll have a good time. So you guys came here to give, receive, and observe predictions for NXT Heatwave. So let's get this party started. So we've got plenty going on here. So, all right, I am going to, before we started the show, I committed to A&B that I would be the Mean Gene, the Professor Mike Tenay, the Mike Adam, maybe not the Mike Adamley, dear God, I hope not. But, you know, the man of exposition that gives a little background for those of you who maybe don't rock with NXT every single week for one reason or another. You don't get CW, you know, your life is richly fulfilled with things to do on Tuesday nights, you know, whatever it may be. Maybe you're more of a, you know, Riverdale person. I don't know what else comes on Tuesdays, but nevertheless, I'll try to give you guys some background. So, first and foremost, our first match tonight, before I show the graphic, we have had a few things going on recently in the North American title division. So, Ethan Page, our North American champion, has, much like Lance Storm in the late 90s WCW, rechristened the North American title with a red and white Canadian flag strap. This has drawn the ire of one Tavion Heights, who was formerly a part of the No Quarter Catch crew, but much like Virgil and Ted DiBiase, won his freedom from the group by beating him one-on-one 1 week on NXT. Tavion Heights also an Olympic wrestling background, which is important to know. Tavion Heights runs afoul of Ethan Page, and a visiting Canadian diplomat won Chelsea Green and her secret Hervis.
I did see
on
that
NXT,
yeah.
which
I love it.
This union, this faction, this power couple, this wealth of nations, this United Nation of Canada,
This United Nation
is something this coalition, if you will, does not need to be put asunder anytime soon. It's working, and it's working really well.
It's working.
So,
wow.
Because Tavion is a man who will not throw hands on a woman. He recruited from Evolve, from Evolve. Well, yeah, Evolve and LFG, legit 2020 Olympic gold medalist Tyra May Steele, which is her working name. God bless her. I can't remember her actual Olympic gold medal winning name. But we have a mixed tag match here for Heatwave of, let's just call them Team Canada versus Tavion Heights and Tyra May Steele. Tyra May's got German suplexes for everybody. Her German suplexes are rated E for everyone. And the Team Canada with the Secret Hervis, I'm sure, will be in tow. So we've got Team Canada versus Team USA. And, hey, I'm going to let you go first.
Well, I'll tell you what. I like this right here because you've got Team Canada going against Team USA. Tough guy. Whoa! But my heart of hearts lies
with Chelsea Green.
With Chelsea Green. I am not a fan of Lego My Ego, Ethan Page. Okay. But he's a dynamite heel. I love the fact that he changed this belt. I actually was looking at it the other day and I was like, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Yeah. They probably won't win. If this was Ethan Page solely, I would say yes. But I gotta you know what? It feels like Team USA, but I'm gonna go Team Canada.
Okay. A with Team Canada.
I'm gonna go Team Canada.
You hate America. You don't love this country. Failing Canada. Well, they only have 2 colors on their strap.
Hey, look,
they can't afford a third color. Yeah, I wish I could buy that version of the North American title, but I'm sure it costs exponentially more now due to tariffs. Man. All right, B. Would you love to weigh in on this match prediction?
So what's interesting is that part of the thing that's hard to say that you think they're going to lose is because he did change the belt strap. And it's kind of hard to think that he changed the belt strap just to lose it. But we all know that just means you have a collector's item of the rare moment that it was like this. So all the Canadians will want to buy it or whatever. And Chelsea Green loses all the time, right? She is either the champion or a jobber. But Ethan Page, when's the last time Ethan Page lost? So then you have these USA Olympians, And
Who got the better of Team Canada on NXT. So you know how that
This is
typically
true.
right. But Team Canada has the numbers.
Yes.
You've got 2 extra people outside the ring who play dirty.
Secret Harvest.
Secret Harvest. So because I do usually believe it is a numbers game, and in conjunction with, I think Chelsea needs a win because she does job so much. We're down on NXT. I'm going to go ahead and go with Team Canada.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
All right. Yeah, you know, I really can see this match going either way, and being something good for the winner. Because if Team USA were to win, you can legitimize Tyra May in front of a PLE crowd. You can give a little boost to Tavion, who really hasn't done a ton since he got separated from NQCC. And if he were to get a win over Ethan Page, then he might actually earn a real title shot. Which, not to say that he would win that, but you would give him a reason to be calling for one. On the other hand, this Team Canada thing is one of my favorite things going on in NXT right now. Like, I hate the look of that strap, but also the fact that I hate it makes me love that Ethan Page did it. Like,
right.
It is the most obnoxious. It is the most obnoxious way to do it. So, like, for those of y'all who didn't watch, late WCW, Lance Storm did this too when he won the US title in WCW. He just slapped a Canadian decal, a Canadian maple leaf decal on the American flag on the actual plating. And it still looked like a decent belt, honestly. With a big sticker on it. But this is hideous. But it's also perfect. Like, it should be hideous if it's Ethan Page. This man finds way. He and Chelsea Green are heat machines. And it's that part of me as a fan that respects their work so much that I want to see them win, but also they're so good at it, they probably could afford to lose and not lose anything from it. So it's a really weird thing because like Becky makes a good observation about Chelsea. She really is all or nothing. She's a champion or a jobber. She is gold in either role too. Like, she does not lose one bit of oomph in what she does when she puts out there. But I absolutely think they could have a scenario where the numbers game overwhelms the rookie, Tyra May. Like, and so you could steal that from her. So I thought before we started having this conversation, I was pretty 100% confident on how I knew this should go. But the more I think about it, I'm like, man, you have a good through line story-wise either way with who you go, as long as you book the match properly. And one more thing, because I want to put over Team Canada one more time before I make my final pick. On Tuesday, they're in Philly. They're in Philadelphia, and they come down for this peace treaty, which is just, wrestling garbage talk for a contract signing. As soon as they get in the ring, Ethan Page points to the Secret Harvest, and they pick up the table and throw the table out of the ring. And like Kevin, I'm like, somewhere Kevin Owens is smiling because he's like, no, I know what happens every time we do one of these segments, and I'm not going through a table, and we're not going to give Philly the satisfaction of someone getting put through a table in this segment. And I absolutely love that so much. So, end of the day, I'm just going to go with my initial gut reaction, which was Team Canada as well. So we're all picking Team Canada for that match. I would, and I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for Ethan Page, but we were talking about who's ready and who's not ready to come up to the main roster on Tuesday, because a lot of these matches, if you think about it hard enough, you could be like, there's a chance this could be some of the last times we're seeing some of these people. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Because what do some of these performers do after the match they have on Sunday? Some of them, because they've been around for so long, right? And Ethan Page has already been NXT champion. He's a North American champion. He's not a tag team guy, at least not on NXT. He's not. I don't know, bring him up. I mean, I think he could
Yes.
slide. I think he could slide right in with Seth and Braun personally.
Would you bring him
Although
up as the North American champion?
no,
or would you drop it?
not
You would have to
immediately.
drop it.
I would want him to drop it, and that's what I'm saying. Like he could drop that to Tavion, and then you could have because honestly, Ethan is the kind of champion who's like in the NXT universe. Okay, in the NXT universe, he's a main eventer holding a mid card title.
Okay.
And that mid card title probably, so he's going to have a stranglehold on that thing until he's done, I think, and that could give the opportunity for that mid card title to be a mid card title again. But you know, I don't know. I as far as NXT goes, I feel like Sean, knows what he's doing. But that is those are our picks for the opening match. So I'm going to take that and move it along. And so we are going to move on to a tag team match. So NXT darlings of mine, Hank and Tank, who when I first started live streaming were just like backstage promo guys who won me over week after week, are now the NXT tag champions. They won the tag titles at Stand and Deliver. Something I noticed today, they have never defended the titles on a PLE. They won the titles on a PLE WrestleMania weekend at Stand and Deliver, and they have defended the titles on weekly TV. But this is their first PLE defending the tag team championships, and they are taking on two to be determined members of Dark State. We still don't know which two it's going to be, but Hank and Tank defending the NXT championships against Dark State. And Dark State has been on a tear for a while. Very recently, they have started implementing some really weird, like there's no other way to say it, butt humor with the white guy, Cutler James. Who like all of a sudden has developed a gimmick for bad phrasing, even to the point where all the other guys are like, and then do the Jim Halpert look into the camera when he does it, which honestly has kind of removed a little bit of the teeth from Dark State for me. I'm not like kayfabe wise, I'm not scared of these guys anymore, so I thought it was a really weird choice, given that they're now in a title picture. So I don't know what that means, or if I'm thinking too hard about it. But B, I'm gonna let you go first on this one. And if you have, by the way, I'm doing my best to give exposition for all these matches, but if you have any remaining questions, I'll do my best to fill in the gaps.
It's funny because I was thinking I saw Hank and Tank defend their titles, but that was actually in person at WrestleMania weekend when we were, remember how I told you that you could go and meet the wrestlers and do stuff? They had a ring in the middle of the whatever this
WrestleCon or whatever.
And we didn't know what the ring was there for. We thought you just go in there and take pictures, and all of a sudden they started matches in there. The Hank and Tank came in there and defended their titles like right after they won them, right in front of us.
Wow.
Those of us who were there, we're like, wow, yeah, exactly. We didn't know that was going to happen. And
that had to have been their first title defense because they won it that weekend.
Yes. And then Lash Legend and Jakara, which little did she know. But yeah, so anyway, so that's April, May, June, July.
End of April to end of August, 4 months.
4 months, but this is the first time they're defending it on the PLE. Well, first of all, I think it's so weird to want to be, okay, so I'm supposed to, if I'm going for Dark State, I don't even know who's fighting. Am I just supposed to, one of the guys in the black shirt? Like, it's hard to be for a team that you have no connection with. I don't know their names. Right. Like, I don't, like, oh, you're one of them, I'm just going to say Hank and Tank.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fair.
All right, A, what about you?
It is going to be Dark State all day. It's going to be Dark State all day.
Even though you don't know who's fighting,
it doesn't even matter because that's part of the the
4 or 1 or 2.
Yeah, that's part of the confusion that I think is going to ultimately get them the victory.
Oh, kind of like we didn't know who was legal or who was interfering or whatever.
It's going to be a slobber knocker, folks. I know that much. I think it's going to be overwhelming for Hank and Tank, and Hank and Tank has had it for a few months, and I have no issues. I have no I got no beef with Hank and Tank, son. All right, but I think it's time for. I think they're pushing Dark State in a way now. Why they're doing this weird thing with the one white guy in the group, I don't know. I don't know. I think it is a little odd because this is not how you came in here. You came in here. It was sort of like a retribution, kind of like what's happening, and the camera shakes, and what's happening. The lights are flickering. You don't do that, and then all of a sudden you start falling into some comedy shtick. It just doesn't make any sense. Like you said, it takes the teeth out of it. So I don't like that.
I'm gonna lock you in the kitchen.
I think that aside, whoever is going to face Hank and Tank, I think it's going to be some shenanigans, some confusion. I think it's going to be overwhelming, and I think it's time for Dark State to come up.
Okay, you got Dark State. All right. So with I want to call it a tiebreaker, but yeah, I don't know. So like, here's the thing, and I love Hank and Tank too, but like, they are a classic case of an old approach to wrestling booking, which is like the underdog baby faces, and then you kind of have a problem once they're a champion. Like, how do you still galvanize the fans to be behind them when they're on top of the mountain and they're not climbing up the mountain? And I think I sense that we're getting that a little bit. I mean, to be fair, they're not like Julia with the women's U.S. title, just sitting around catering.
Who are we talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's Julia's a wrestler. She's on SmackDown, and she's currently a champion. You wouldn't know it because she never defends it. But I mean, Sol Ruco is literally teasing defending the defunct Speed Championship before we get another U.S. title defense out of that. But nevertheless, that's real. That really happened on Tuesday. Anyway, yeah. So Hank and Tank, they have had defenses. They've just been like a TV champion team, which is fine because the show needs to have title defenses on TV too. So there's that at least. I'm starting to wonder. It seems really weird because like ever since Dark State kind of stopped messing with the main event scene with Obafemi and Javon Evans and those guys, even though they still kind of dipped their toes into that as well. Once they've started looking at the tag division, it seemed like a done deal that like, oh, this is where we're going with Dark State. They're going to be the next tag champions. Because one, there's not a whole lot of tag teams to choose from in NXT period, men or women. Pause. We know women tag teams. And the travesty, that is the biggest black eye on all of NXT. There's not a lot down there to criticize, but that is one of them. And I don't know like who else are going to come up because I feel like after this match, like who's going to be feuding with who? Because there's just not a lot of teams. So I feel like, more teams will have to get together or something. And there's a part of me, the way that we've been seeing some of the other talents being booked on NXT lately that seem a little aimless, but they're still doing things. I'm thinking about like the Jasper Troys and the Josh Briggses and stuff. Maybe the weird white boy gets kicked out of Dark State for being a little too weird, and they replace him with someone a little meaner. I mean, because honestly, Josh Briggs, if they want a tough white boy in there, put Josh Briggs in there instead, and they will get immediately legitimized on NXT.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. So I kind of wonder maybe they'll win those titles. Just if they do win the titles, maybe they get a rematch. Maybe Hank and Tank get a rematch or something, and you get some sort of stipulation match. You get a reason to get behind Hank and Tank again. Yeah, it's a little bit of a tough call. Again, not unlike the first match. I can see options for both, but it seems like Dark State is just kind of, even before they got weird with it, seems like the direction they were going with it. Yeah, they're, let's get weird. So I'm gonna again go with first impressions. I'm gonna go with Dark State on that.
Right.
I'm not gonna like it.
No, I was going to say what sucks is that I agree that they're going to win. It's just hard to root for them because I don't feel connected to them.
Yeah.
You're still going Hank and Tank.
Well, I don't think Hank. I actually do agree with you.
Who is winning? You could do my hand and my heart like I do sometimes, but who is winning this match?
I guess that's what I heard with him, which is kind of like, I feel like they're going to give them the title, but I don't even know who they are. Like, I wouldn't recognize them.
So you do think Dark State will be the champions after this match?
I do think they're going to win. I just am like, I am not rooting for them. I guess that's not.
I mean, I'm seeing people in the chat. They're not saying anything I think is unfair. Like Trey is saying Dark State haven't really done anything to earn a shot, though. I don't disagree with you, but the reality is the fact that they're in this title picture, the fact that we're seeing them get the push that they're getting, they're invested. NXT is clearly invested.
And they do have to do something with them, I guess.
And Dark State did jump Hank and Tank backstage. They framed the culling for it. Hank and Tank went after the culling. They beat the culling, and then they showed up, I think, after that match and jumped Hank and Tank, be like, "Nah, sucker, it was us the whole time, you stupid fools." And then Butt Stuff guy started saying weird things, and then we all kind of forgot about it. So, what sucks about all this?
Culling may come out and help Hank and Tank. There's a chance of that. Then
I don't know about that.
No, okay.
That doesn't really vibe.
Well, not really to help them as much as to, because your enemy is my enemy.
Yeah.
The enemy of my enemy.
I mean, never say never, but I don't know.
I think part of the sort of New Day / Freebird rule of Dark State is what's working against them right now, because with New Day, you knew who all three of those guys were before they became a team.
Yeah.
And all these guys are all rookies at the same time. And so I think it would be better if they had defined, like kind of like what B was saying, like they need to have like defined roles before you start to mix them all up. Which the one guy who looks like JTG from Crime Time, Saquon Sugars, who can't ever have both of his sleeves in at the same time. That dude honestly is the most memorable to me because he's the best promo of the four. And for the longest time, he was like in the manager role doing all the promo work. And so once they actually put him in the ring, I was like, oh, well, that dude can move too. So I think he's probably got the best future out of the four of them right now. But I think it's weird having four of them. I think three. Yeah. Yeah. But because you're always going to have two guys who aren't in the tag team, so,
right.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe there's some future for them, but also at the same time, that's why we have NXT to work out these kinks. So we'll see where we go from there. Real quick, I'm just going to peruse the comments just to make sure. Somebody did mention asked about Joe Hendry. I saw you guys respond to that. I mean, at this point, you just have to say his name. Like he literally came out of a closet on Tuesday. But I do love spontaneously appearing Joe Hendry. And honestly, in the Hank and Tank, if it was the Hank and Tank match, if they keep getting interfered on, I could totally see Tank just go, Joe Hendry, and then the music hits and he comes out to help. It wouldn't bother me one bit.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so awesome. That wouldn't bother anybody.
If that actually happened, that'd be the only way I'd be satisfied with Hank and Tank winning.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Coming up next is a triple threat women's match to determine the number one contender for JC Jane's NXT Women's Championship. NXT's champion, JC Jane, 2 belts over here. Who, listen, real talk, she annoyed the ever-loving double stuffed Oreos out of me when she beat Stephanie Verker, which is how I'm gonna say her name now until Naomi comes back. Nothing but health and wealth and peace for you, Naomi, in your time off.
Yes.
Baby
But that's right. Baby bloodline, baby. Baby Uso. All right. So I wouldn't say the women's division in NXT is still strong. It is a little messy right now. So we've got 3 women competing for the next woman up against JC Jane. And they're all 3 women who have had some kind of a shot before in some form or fashion over the past year and a half. So we've got Miss Parker, Jada Parker versus Lola Vice versus Miss Kalani Jordan, who has kind of reinserted herself into the world title picture. She had been kind of lingering around the North American title picture with Sol Ruka and all them for a while. So one of these 3 ladies will be the next number 1 contender for JC Jane's NXT Women's Championship. And I'm going to go first this time. So first and foremost, I'm just going to try to do process of elimination. And this is all going with my head and not going with my heart at all. Because I think out of these 3 ladies, actually with my heart, I don't know which one of these 3 ladies I'd pick either, because I think they're all great. I particularly love Lola and Miss Parker. And nothing against Kalani. She hasn't been in the picture for a while, which is why I think she's going to win this match, by the way. I'm picking Kalani. Jada has been in the title picture for a minute now, and for one reason or another cannot seem to break through. And the women's title picture, while we've lost Julia and Roxy and Stephanie, and while Blake Monroe and Jordan Grace are off doing their own thing, we'll get to them in a minute, that has cleared up a little bit, but it's still kind of like she still hasn't like risen up after all those women have left. And I don't know what that deal is. Lola Vice is really exploding in popularity, but she seems to be leaning towards AAA, which I love for her. AAA loves that lady, as well they should. Who wouldn't? Who shouldn't? But I think she's got more of a future in AAA stories right now than she does in NXT stories. So I think they're taking better care of her in AAA, and have more plans for her there. I think Jada is just in the match because she's good and she will fulfill a role. But I think they're going to try to, and she's also, I think Kalani, never mind. That sentence wasn't going to make any sense. I think she's also going to be the freshest matchup for JC, I think, out of the 3. So anyway, that's my pick. I'm picking Kalani. B, who do you think?
So, Kalani has had a title, and so I understand that they might want to move her up to the main title. And she has grown on me. I thought she was boring the first time around as a champ. Lola, I do believe you're right that she may be heading in the direction of AAA, and she would probably get more. She could be the AAA champ, like, no doubt, and then have that for a moment before, and then come and compete as the champ against NXT or whatever, in the future, and come back or whatever. But I can't go against Miss Parker. You're right. They have not given her a title. I don't know why they've not given her a title. They keep acting like they're going to do it. And her popularity also, it's not like everybody doesn't call for Miss Parker when she comes out. And she is so good and so dominant. And I don't know what the heck their problem is. They need to put a strap on her and get her to the main roster. And if they waste this girl's talent, I am going to be so mad. It's so annoying to me. I just can't go against her because I know they won't give it to her, but I'm just going to keep on hoping that they will.
I'll say from watching from watching every week, I will say without a doubt, among these 3 women, Jada is the most, I feel is the most prepped to be on the main roster. she carries herself more main roster ready than any of them. And you can, and because of what you just said, because of the response she gets from the crowds there. Do you know how hard it is to have people chanting for you before they can make out what your theme music is these days, Def Rebel?
Yeah.
Like, so if they're already saying your name before your face gets on camera, then you're doing something right, you know? Like,
Yeah.
so, and I think Lola, if I hadn't watched Triple Mania, it's clear that there's some kind of feud going on with Lola and this other lady. I don't know all of the AAA homegrown talent yet, so I can't remember all those names. I want to say her name is Lahedra or something like that. But anyway, there's something going on there. I saw her at Triple Mania. She's got beef with somebody over there. Yeah. But anyway, I'm not changing my vote, but I just want to support your argument too, because I think you're going to do that. And I also just want to go on record and say, I'm going to be happy with whoever wins this match, as long as that we're looking at the next NXT Women's Champion.
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that statement there, homeboy. But I will say this much, and I do agree with what you all have stated here. I don't think Lola Vice is going to be the winner of this match. I absolutely agree. Whatever they got going on with her in AAA is working. They are definitely wanting to give her a push on that front, and I'm all for it, because like you said, the crowd loves them some Lola Vice.
She can actually yell, "I'm a Latina," and it's over with the crowd.
We'll see that and that makes perfect sense. And she, you've got to keep her on NXT television. So I'm all fine with that. I don't know what's going on with Jada Parker, like you had said. The reality is it's a start and stop kind of a situation. They always put her in these big moments, and she ends up losing these big moments. You know what I mean? She's somebody that I think has a fantastic look. She's got that spark in the ring. She knows how to cut a promo. But the reality is, if this is somebody that they're thinking about bringing up, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. You bring up somebody that's a winner. She needs to win some matches, and she needs to win some big matches. I'm not necessarily saying that she needs to win a championship to be considered main roster material, but I don't like the idea of somebody coming into big moments and constantly losing, and then they just kind of get slid on in to the main roster scene. I just don't like that. But you're right, Steven, in that it's time for a fresh face. You know, I was surprised at Kalani Jordan's. At first, like you said, I thought she was a little, you know, she was fine, a little fresh faced, a little, you know, bright eyed, bushy tailed. It didn't really work for me, but she's got a little something there. She can be a little gritty, you know, and I like that. And I think that would be a good matchup for JC Jane. I think that would be a toe-to-toe matchup, and I'm more interested in seeing that than I would Kalani Jordan, Lola Vice or Miss Parker getting into the situation again and coming up short. I don't know if Kalani Jordan's going to come up short and they're going to move her up, or they're going to keep her down here. I really don't know, but I'm going to say my pick is JC Jane to retain the women's championship. Because I know everybody's talking about they're going to be called up. I don't know what the future holds for Kalani Jordan. I will say this much.
JC Jane wasn't an option in this, was she?
No. This is a number one contender.
This is a number one contender.
What I'm saying, no, I know.
Oh,
that.
you think whoever goes on to her,
is
she's going to win.
That Kalani Jordan is going to go on. She's going to beat these three in this triple threat. She's going to face JC Jane, and I'm saying JC Jane will be.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, I got you.
I'm saying
so. You pick Kalani.
I don't know what
for this match.
Yes, I've got you. I picked Kalani. I'm saying I don't know what the future holds for Kalani Jordan. AAA seems to be a nice shining star for Lola Vice. I don't know what to think about Miss Parker. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Kalani Jordan for the
match. I just want to show some love to our chat. A few of our chat friends are calling for Lola Vice. So that's the only pick that did not get picked among the three of us. So hey, if she wins, you guys are right, and I will give you guys credit for sure on Sunday if that's what it goes. I love Lola Vice too, man. I really thought she would have had a shot back when Roxy was champion. Actually, I think it was this time last year. I think she had her title shot against Roxy and came up short. Although her build was really weird. They tried to turn her into a baby face, like a crying baby face out of nowhere. And I'm like, no, she's an MMA fighter. What are you doing? Anyway,
right.
Like, we don't need to see her cry.
Look what they did with her in NXT. They massacred my girl. Look what they did with her and Natalia in NXT Underground. I mean, that wasn't awful. It was better than Raw Underground, but I still didn't get to see what I wanted to see. I'm seeing more veracity with Natalia now.
Yeah,
outside of the WWE than I've ever seen. I mean, she was laying in some hits.
They need to let Natty just start touring the territories, so to speak. Like, keep her off Raw and SmackDown if you're not going to do right by her. After I saw what she did at Triple Mania, I was like, man, why? I'm not even saying you need to put the belt on her, but you can't tell me that Becky Lynch wouldn't have killed to have a match with that Natty instead of,
come on now,
instead of, cat ears Natty. Like,
that really made me mad. Like, that match that they had, like, you told her, go out there and don't really bring it to Becky. That for why?
Yeah, I tell you, Becky didn't say that. I know Becky didn't say that.
No, for sure.
Like, they were like, come on with it. Like, yeah. And so, and also too, I want to say maybe it was George who said, don't forget, maybe it was Justin. I'm not sure which one of you fellas said it, but don't forget Lash Legend is still lurking around in the shadows as well. She tried to kind of call next in front of all three of those women on Tuesday. And when she was like, I'm putting, boots to faces or whatever. And Kalani clapped back at her. Like, don't you mean, forget the language. Don't you mean ass to ribs, lady? Or whatever, like talking about how Nia about broke her in half. So anyway, I'd like to see another Nia Lash match. I thought we were going to get that this weekend, but we got it on Tuesday. It was such a good match. They had really good chemistry together, and so yeah, I'm very invested in more of that. And also, not for nothing, it really displayed how large of a lady Lash is. Because I didn't realize how big of a woman she is until I saw her, like Hogan and Andre, stand up next to Nia Jax, and I'm like, whoa! Like, I knew she was tall, but man. So anyway,
Lash
has a future.
When does Nia get handled like that? Very rarely,
right?
Very
and
rarely.
and yeah, absolutely. Like, I would rather. Anyway, no, I'm not going to start hating on the SmackDown women's division, but that there's two brilliant women of color doing their excellence in the ring.
That's
where some others maybe need a little extra work in the PC, but not those two.
Maybe.
Anyway, but that's another show and another roster. So we're gonna move it along.
Come on in. Ease on down the card.
Another heart. Speaking of hard hitting ladies, we got a grudge match coming up with Monica Monroe. Blake Monroe versus Jordan Grace. And God, I love that she called out Booker T for that.
She had to. That would have been so weird.
It was too good. So just to give the background, the Coliseum home video background to this feud. Blake Monroe debuts in NXT, actually on a very special edition of Marked by Wrestling, which B was co-hosting with me. I still remember that when she showed up. And so Blake Monroe teams with Jordan Grace, and it's worth pointing out they kind of did the Beauty and the Beast, I'm gonna make you over friendship leading up to their tag match with Fatal Influence at Great American Bash, which I will point out Blake Monroe pinned JC Jane in that match. Keep that in the back of your mind. The next night, Evolution, Jordan Grace has a women's title match against JC Jane. Blake turns heel on her, costs her the match. And from then on out, one element I did leave out was leading up to Blake Monroe deciding to team with Jordan Grace. Jordan gave, at the time, I thought was a very awkward promo in the ring where she was talking about how she felt really insecure when she came to WWE, when she came to NXT. She didn't really believe that she belonged here. And of course, it's the NXT faithful. So they're immediately chanting warm, encouraging, accepting things with her because she's Big Mama Pump and she can kill people. So like, so they embrace her and stuff. But anyway, Blake has full on, like, I'm gonna drop a phrase that I think you guys will remember. I don't know if our chat will. Has turned full like Piggy James on Jordan Grace and like shown like pictures of her before she got in shape on the Tron and all this stuff. And she's like, I'm the glamour. I've got the Sabrina Carpenter entrance music kind of stuff going on. Everybody knows how hot I look and you're ugly and you're right to feel insecure because you don't belong here and all this other stuff. So then, Jordan Grace since then has basically been trying to break her neck any chance she can. So we're in a grudge match at this point. That's where we are. What do you think we got?
It's interesting. I saw the clip. I didn't watch all of NXT this past week. Saw some clips. I saw the clip that Balake. I love that you said that. Had with Jordan. Jordan looked strong, knocking down men. Just
there's one dude the size of Wardlow, man. Like I don't know what was going on there.
Bulldozed them. And I loved it. I loved it. She grabs the forearm of Monroe and says what she says. I liked it. I liked it a lot. You had Blake looking like, that leads me to believe that she's going to win. The crazy thing about this match for me is you brought over this woman from TNA who was the TNA Women's Champion. Okay. You've got her in some major matches and it's been hit and miss with Jordan Grace. The funny thing about Jordan Grace, I'm looking at this clip, and I don't know if you remember this or if you recall exactly how it went down, but Jordan Grace, she kind of forgot her line. She starts and she says she starts talking. She struggled, and she's like, and the thing is, and there were these long pause. You know when you take that pause, long pause, She kept hitting those long pauses, and I'm like, "Are you Native American long pause?" You know what I'm saying? Because that's not. I'm serious. I was just like, that is not how we do in NXT.
I was getting Roman Reigns Vietnam flashbacks, man.
But John Cena, come on, let's go
and
kid.
And the second thing is.
I'm telling you, she's not. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if she's still nervous. I don't know. It's weird. There's a part of me that feels like, okay, like we just watched against Central Intelligence, and usually when the movie comes on, it's already like in the middle of the movie. But this time we were watching from the beginning. And if anybody remembers Central Intelligence, when you have The Rock's character and he's looking in the mirror when they go back to high school and he's seeing that kid that was tossed out onto the gymnasium floor, right? And so he has this confidence issue that he's shed this former self that you saw Blake put up there, and he's his new self, but he's still deep down inside feels like he's that I'm not good enough fat kid that nobody likes, that was made fun of, and I had to go so far as to change my name. There's a part of me that feels like that's legit. What's with her here. I saw a lot of confidence and a lot of swag in TNA that I'm not necessarily seeing here that I am seeing with Blake Monroe. And I think
Yeah.
for my money, if I were Shawn Michaels, I would simply say, have a good showing, Jordan Grace, but Blake Monroe is going over in this match. And that is who I'm choosing. If all
Okay.
that makes sense.
All right. I don't think I've gone second yet, so I'm going to go second. I'm going to let B take us home on this one.
Right.
I feel nervous about this match because I feel like NXT has booked themselves into a corner here. Because as I mentioned in my sort of preview of this match, Blake has a visual and record, a jotted down record pinfall victory over the current NXT Women's Champion. Jordan doesn't, and they with the current sort of like as expensive and price gouging as TKO and WWE are, they are maybe more family friendly and like pro kid than they have been in a really long time. With their messaging, with their stories and stuff, you know, and this kind of like crazy, like unabashed bullying as a story sends a really weird message if Jordan loses.
Yeah.
And I question their decision to make their feud about this.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I think you're right. And I said in the chat, like, yeah, Jordan does seem to have some confidence issues with her mic skills, and Blake does not. That she can cook on the mic. Like, I know she can, because I don't think she would have had the confidence to cook Booker T for getting her name wrong. Like, if that was the case. I mean, and all that to say, I'm sure she probably gave him a heads up or whatever and was like sweet about it. I don't think she was shooting on anybody or nothing, but like still to be able to like to talk the way she talks, and like, you know, I wouldn't say she's like a Rhea Ripley or an Io Sky or anything yet, but she's good enough. But if you're good enough on the mic, you can be good enough on the mic and good enough in the ring to where you can balance those things out. You don't have to be all the way up here. And Jordan, and I'm not saying anything bad about Jordan. I said it in the chat. The best kind of wrestler you can be if your promo skills need work is a monster. And Jordan is a monster. So like she could use a mouthpiece. Like if you just, you know, I don't actually want this, but we'll put on the glasses for this. If you wanted to bring her up to SmackDown, you could pair her with Julia and have Kiana James be the mouthpiece for both of them.
Right.
Like she could just have somebody cutting the promos for her and just cutting her loose like a you know, like a lady Braun Breaker. I mean, although Braun Breaker is cutting his own promos now though, so you know, that's no longer a good example because boy grew up right in front of us. But anyway, I know, I'm so proud. Steiners.
Bronze Breaker. That's a white man. Come on. Yeah.
Well, he starts off as a white man, but like the Hulk, when he gets angry, he just turns bronze. So anyway, but again, Jordan and Blake. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Blake is the next. Like, I feel like they want. And they probably have good reason to want this. I think Blake is their next sort of it girl for NXT in the Roxy, Julia, Stephanie line. I'm not saying, you know, how true that is or anything, but like she was the next like big, what the crap is she doing here moment.
Yeah.
And I think they tried to make that with Jordan. And it's been a little stop-start, and I don't know if they are seeing confident. I don't know if they're seeing something that we're not seeing. I mean, in her, why she hasn't won either woman's singles title yet, or that she hasn't really dominantly come out of a feud as a winner yet either. So I'm trying to figure out if winning this match is necessary for either of these women to get to the next place they're going to go to, wherever that's going to be. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so if I'm just looking at this story and not thinking about champions, not thinking about rosters, other feuds, Jordan should be winning this match for this feud. But as for the future, I think Blake has a brighter future right now than Jordan does, at least in NXT, with their current trajectory, their current performance, and their current handling. But also, like, you're gonna have a hard time having selling me on a Blake Monroe JC Jane feud, though, like a heel, world title feud. I mean, it's been done before, but I don't know about that. Oh man, dude, I don't know what to pick. So, all right, so I'm just gonna stop overthinking. I'm just gonna stop overthinking it, and I haven't even let B go yet. B, I'm so sorry.
Roll the dice. Roll the dice.
I'm picking Jordan. I'm gonna pick Jordan.
Okay.
So, all right. So, B, have at it. And I'm gonna shut up.
This is a regular match, right?
Yeah, regular match. No stipulations.
So, like, I was thinking about what you were saying with her being nervous, and we saw that in the beginning with Dr. Baker. When she was on the cruise, the AEW cruise, she gave the cringiest, worst promo in the history of promos of wrestling of all time.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
And we were just like, don't ever give her a microphone again. We almost died of embarrassment of how bad it was. But she worked on it, And
I want to bring these dogs down. Keep talking.
And I guess, so what I was thinking was that even though we have seen her be confident, we've seen her be confident at TNA, I have done many speaking engagements throughout time where I would be speaking and I'm in front of a crowd and I'm okay. But then there was times where, like, I was speaking in front of a larger crowd and I didn't really know anybody. And all of a sudden it's like these strangers are looking at me, the lights are shining on me, and all of a sudden I get that stage fright. That's all my confidence I usually have. Like, what was I going to say? It really was just like, I'm so worried about what I'm going to say that I can't even remember what I'm going to say. And then I just start talking and I'm like, this is making it worse, So I've had those moments too, where I'll do fine and be confident. And then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, that stage fright kicks in and I'm like, what's happening? So for me, that's not to say that that's going to be a continual thing with her. I think that could have been like a momentary thing and she got in her head and she needs to psych herself back up. But at this point, because they went the way of the insecure and now she's being bullied thing, I don't think they're going to give her the victory right away. I think that what they need to do is have her go crazy and get so crazy that she gets disqualified. And even when she's disqualified, nobody can stop her. She's beating up everybody, the refs, and she really just gets out of control. And then she's like stalking her and fighting her. And so they have to keep giving them all the way to like a street fight where she could finally like redeem herself. But she's gonna have to, because she does have that big, bad, scary look. I think that she really does, like you said, need to be a monster. And she needs to go crazy. And she needs to not care about winning the match. She needs to care about getting revenge and earning respect and shutting her mouth. And I think too, like if you're in a situation where you're in front of a crowd and you're losing your words, but you're trying to look tough. I mean, you could even say, you know what? I'm not really great with words, but I'm great with my fists, and like start fighting. Like, I feel like she could have a future plan for if she goes blank again to just fight. It doesn't, like you said, if you in the moment, if the promo's not going to work, do something else, improvise, throw something, like get crazy or whatever. So I really think that she will lose by disqualification, but she'll come out looking so strong that she'll look like the winner because it's a DQ, and it will scare Blake a little bit. And then it will come into like a feud where they're going to go back and forth like Ethan and Ricky did. But the thing about that is you just knew that Ricky was gonna win at some point, and they launted him. They buried him. for Ethan. And I don't know, like part of what you were saying, like she came over and she was the champ and everyone was so excited to see her and you think, oh, she's going somewhere, right? Unfortunately for her, she came over in a time where they were opening other doors and she wasn't the only one.
Oh yeah.
And then they're super excited about Julia. And then they bring Stephanie and she blows everybody out of the water. Then you bring Blake and people are as excited about Blake almost as about Stephanie. Not quite, but you know what I mean? And so like,
it was like Triple H in the Attitude Era.
Yeah, like she had way too much competition.
Mhm.
And she really did let that get to her. And she needs to psych herself up and get crazy, hulk up, and show everybody that she is what they were excited to see.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go for Blake.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Booker of the Year, Becky from A&B Convos. I'm 100% all in on that scenario. It reminds me of y'all remember when Chris Jericho punched Shawn Michaels' wife in the face, and they had that feud. And interestingly enough, little history lesson for everybody. This is the only Shawn Michaels figure I have, so he didn't look like this at the time. Way too much hair, but Jericho punches Shawn in the face, and actually, I'm going to do a long form video on this angle one day because there's a lot of moments leading up to even this moment. But they have that moment, and then they end up in like a street fight or an unsanctioned match, and Shawn completely like loses himself and like bloodies Jericho to a pulp, and even to the point where Shawn's like, I think I went too far. Like after the match, like, and all this stuff. He proved a point. He got his pound of flesh, but he wasn't the same after that. And strangely, and incidentally enough, by the end of that night, Jericho snaked his way into the scramble match and left that PLE as world champion. So, I mean, I'm not saying Shawn pull everything out of your old playbook, but it's right there.
Like, how to redeem this.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I think that's a great plan. Great idea. I would be down for that. So, all right. We got 2 matches left to discuss, and then we will call it a night. Speaking of more ladies, we're going to have a TNA Knockouts World Championship match on Heatwave, a triple threat between JC 2 belts, JC Jane defending against both Ash by Dana Brooke Elegance and Masha Slamovich. Again, only the TNA Knockouts Championship on the line. They had a 6-woman tag this past Tuesday with all of Fatal Influence versus all of the Elegance brand, where Masha was the special referee, where now I can't remember. I think JC pinned Ash clean to win that match. I know one of those women pinned the other one. I was a little checked out, if I'm going to be honest, because the TNA women who are not Jordan Grace I don't know, and that aren't the former Iconics, don't really hold my attention, if I'm being honest. So this is just the WWE fan of me. I don't know. But nevertheless, triple threat match for the Knockouts Championship. JC has held both belts for a while now. She dethroned Stephanie Vaquer and also, won the belt from Masha Slamovich. She's the only wrestler in history to hold a technically WWE and TNA title simultaneously for both companies, which is, of course, rarefied air because she's the only one to do it. And so, admittedly, I've got to put some respect on her name for that alone. But I'll say this before we get into picks. I do want to walk back a little hatred of JC Jane. I don't. Her initial gimmick almost that even commentary was jumping on is this is the most beatable champion in NXT women's history. Which when she won the title, not wrong, given the pedigrees of all the women that came before her. No pun intended. And so, but now I think in ring and on the mic, she has improved a lot. Now, I hope everybody can hear what I'm trying to say this. I still don't really like her. but I think it's because she's good at her job. Like, it's not like watching Heath Ledger as the Joker and I'm like, oh man, he's such a good villain. It's more like, no, like I kind of hate you. And I'm like, and I'm supposed to. That's the job. So like, she is doing a really great job. I think whenever, I'm not saying that she's ready yet, but whenever she gets pulled up, I never thought she'd be the last one standing after Gigi Dolan and Mandy Rose. I never would have put my money on her. I have underestimated her for years. But if she goes to the main roster and they give her even a modicum of respect there that they're giving her here, she'll never leave. I think she is good enough to stay. I'm not saying we're looking at the next Becky Lynch or Charlotte Flair or whatever, but I think she is very solid. And I think she now is proving that she has the talent to stay as long as she wants to stay. Yeah. And so I'm offering that as a compliment to her that I don't think she'll ever hear. But you know, it is what it is. So anyway, it's true. That's true. That's why I always try to be nice and not reactionary in any videos I make, because you never know who's watching. And also I don't ever want to say anything that I wouldn't say to somebody's face. But here we are, triple threat match. B, you want to go first and make sense of this triple threat and tell us who's walking away the Knockouts champion?
I wonder if I think that JC, even when she was part of Toxic Attraction and then her and Gigi threw down, she proved at that time that she was the stronger competitor for sure between her and Gigi. And they kept trying to do stuff with her. And I don't know if it was about her not having the skills in the ring as much as it is. I mean, she carries herself as the leader of this group as if she's a Mandy Rose. And she's not. Like, I don't mean talent-wise, because Mandy Rose wasn't super good in the ring. I'm just saying, like, if you're going to carry yourself like a bad, sexy bee, like, she's not. She's
like a you?
She's
more annoying. So, like, what I was
she's giving
was,
Solo like, Temu bloodline.
There you go. Like, because it's almost like it's like you could have that girl that you don't necessarily like, but you're like, no, that's a bad one right there. Like, I wouldn't mess with her. She's not like, she's heel, I don't like her, but she's down. Like, yeah, that's what it's about. And then there's people like, no, I don't like her, she's annoying. Like, you know what I mean? There's a difference. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I just don't know if I see her in the role that she's booked in. Yes, she's good in the ring and that's great. And she's not bad on the mic, but I don't buy this character. I feel like she hasn't found the right character for her. But I am over us having TNA's titles. I think it's foul. I think it's very, like, we're bullying this brand. I think that Masha is good, and I think she needs her title back. I think it's ridiculous that we have their titles. NXT, it's enough. It's enough. I for sure didn't think they were going to take both their titles. And we can't just hold on. That's what are they doing over there? We talk about what are we doing with this women's division when they don't have any titles to fight for. You took both their championships. Come on, man. Like,
all they have are women's tag titles in TNA now.
Yeah.
Oh, right. But
who do you? So you have Slamovich?
So yes.
Masha. Okay.
Masha.
If I can tag on to that, B, I think that's a great point all around. I think what I see for JC is like, if she ever gets to the main roster one day, I think she should be how they are booking Chelsea on the main roster. Like, I could not, like, annoying, solid in the ring. And I say that with the full throatedness of Chelsea deserves more than what she does, than what she's getting. Like, I think
Yeah.
Chelsea should be a main eventer in the women's division on SmackDown.
Absolutely.
But what they have Chelsea doing when she's on SmackDown, I think JC could fill that. I could see her like a female Miz. Like, she could just be around forever and always kind of like, we can plug her in for this feud, for that feud, and we can trust that that people will boo her, you know, like that kind of thing. I think you make great points though about the TNA titles for sure. I'm just going to make my pick real quick and we'll let A close us out on this match. I'm actually going to pick JC to retain. But that's with full agreement with everything you said. I just think they will wait till a TNA show to give the TNA title back to TNA, because you would just in hopes that maybe they'll give the TNA crowd that joy of getting that title back. Because I got to say, I think it would be double dirty to give that title back to TNA on an NXT show too. But they might. I don't know.
People watching you win it.
that is true. I mean, you ain't lying. It's true. But yeah, that's the simplest way I could make a prediction for that. All right, A. How you feel about this match? Who you picking?
Well, I like Justin Hollicrane talking about Indy Hartwell showing
right.
up,
I would not be mad at that.
Hey-o.
Love that.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking about that very same thing that you both were saying. Is this a question of, are they ready to bring the TNA title back to TNA? That's what it boils down to. I knew that it was going to go the way that it was going to go, because I said NXT, WWE, it's a bigger show, it's a bigger brand, and they want to get eyes on the product. And they look at it like, look, we're going to highlight you guys. You guys can come over here. It's going to be great for you, but we're going to be taking those titles on over here. I mean, it's kind of foul. It's kind of foul that the owner, or I don't know what exactly he is, had to actually hand deliver the titles. That hurts a little bit, but I really think it's a question of, are they ready to bring the title back home? Are they ready for the TNA championship to be back at TNA? You've got two TNA people going against an NXT person. You would think the odds are in the favor of TNA.
Right.
For sure. Nothing against Ash by Elegance by Ash, whatever you want to call her.
Ashy.
Dana Brooke.
Ashy,
she get some cocoa butter on her then. Let's go ahead and lather her up. She's done well for herself. I'm actually glad to see her back on WWE television. But she ain't winning this match. Okay, she's just not. She's got a belt. She's fine with that belt. Let's just move on. This is basically going to come down to Slamovich, or I like saying that from Dodgeball, or JC Jane. And I'm not 100% sure if they're ready. It feels like they're getting there, because I don't know how much longer NXT should be holding the TNA titles hostage, because that's kind of what they're doing.
No more time.
It's cool and all, and
It's messed
I
up.
feel like it's time. But I agree with you, Steven. I think that part of that deal would be for them to win it on a TNA show. I think that would be good. The TNA guys have had good showings, but when it comes to these type of matches on NXT always comes out on top. So with that said, JC Jane to retain. She will continue on as Dos Straps.
Okay.
Wow.
There we go. Well, we've only got one more match.
Bring it.
And it
Are
is.
you going live for Bound for Glory? Sorry.
I'll have to see when Bound for Glory is. I haven't actually done.
Okay.
I may. I mean, I did Slammiversary, and the TNA app is trash. So I had to restart my stream a few times when we did that.
Gotcha.
And the missus hated that show.
Yeah.
So if I can get a stable,
not.
well, she won't be joining me if that's the case. But although she did love the Leon Slater Moose match, so she's got good instincts as a fan. If I can get a stable stream, I may do it, but I'll have to look at the time and stuff, but whenever the actual date is, because I haven't looked at it at all. Although I imagine that may be when, I don't know who Trick Williams is going to be facing at that show, but that honestly, because Bound for Glory is kind of the TNA WrestleMania. So I mean, that would be a great time for Trick to drop the title too. Trick has been doing some career work, but this ain't about Trick NA. This ain't about Trick Williams. This is about the Ruler and the Young OG going one-on-one for the NXT Championship. And actually, now that I say that, it's probably Mike Santana who he'll be facing, because Javon and Trick both were eyeing the Ruler, and I thought we might get ourselves a triple threat rematch from a few months ago, which was a killer match that Oba retained against those two men. But in a number one contenders match in Philly this past Tuesday, Mike Santana showed up in the balcony like so many Nitros when Sting and Crow Face Paint was just standing and pointing. And Trick thought he was about to talk some trash to Oba, and looked and saw Mike Santana was there instead, like magic, and got distracted. And Javon took advantage, and Javon Evans gets Oba Femi one-on-one. So, hey, let's hear it, man. The Ruler, or, you know, the boy who's bouncy.
Oba's been champ, give or take. How long would you say now?
Oh gosh, I mean, it's been over a year, I think, at this point. I know it's been a long time.
He's had a lot of successful title defenses against some guys that are bigger, stronger, faster, EST-er than Javon Evans. Javon Evans is good. He's very good. He's a natural at this game. I'm not taking anything away from that bouncy boy. I would just be a bit mortified if, and I said the same thing with Stephanie Vaquer, you face all of these big contenders, these heavyweight champions, former champions, and you lose to a JC Jane. JC Jane, by her own admission, said, you know what? Because she had a conversation with Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels was basically saying, look, man, you've got to step your game up. You know, it's kind of like what Booker, we were talking about this. It's like what Booker T says, you're not great at anything. You're good at, I forget how he says this. You're not great at anything. You're good at everything.
Good at everything.
Right? Yeah. Which it's like, when you listen to it, you're like, that sounds a little backhand compliment-ish, but I get what he's saying. Shawn Michaels is essentially saying the same thing to JC Jane. And JC Jane said, okay, well, like a Liv Morgan, like, watch me. Let me go ahead and step my game up. And she rose to the occasion. She rose to the occasion, and we see where she is. So I was shocked, but seeing what she's done with her time as champion, all right, good deal. I don't know that Javon Evans is that guy to defeat the Ruler. I think he's going to put the Ruler to the test. I think it's going to be a fantastic match, but that crown is heavy. And I don't see Javon at this exact juncture being the face of NXT in that way. You've got to get me in here because you built Oba up to be such a beast. I don't want this to turn out to be a 1, 2, 3 kid type situation. You know, I have no confidence in the way that they have presented these two guys that Javon is the guy. He ain't him. And so as crazy as it is, because I don't know who's going to be the guy to dethrone him, but I'm saying it's not Javon Evans, Oba Femi to retain.
Okay. B, you up next.
So to me, you would look at those guys and you would obviously say, there's no way Javon is going to do this, right? We did just see him beat Trick, but there was, some distraction. But the thing is, Oba needs to get off NXT in a real way. Why you got this man on NXT? Look at him. the Black Panther needs to be on the main roster. And if you could put him up there and get him with the Street Profits and do something with the Street Profits, and I'm not saying it's a race thing that they, need to be all together or whatever, but I'm just saying I need the Street Profits to do something. And I would love for him to come up there and be part of a faction, because otherwise all the factions that are there are going to jump him. But I'm ready for him to move off of NXT, and NXT will seem to put it on somebody they think is the future, because it is the brand that is trying to elevate future champions. And none of us expected it with JC Jane, but I really am ready for Oba to move up. And outside of Roman coming to the rescue, we don't really have enough big, strong, crazy, intimidating dudes anymore. I mean, they got rid of Braun Strowman, and then you have the Wyatts, who are just dominating because they have the big dudes. And even though if he's not getting moved up, I don't expect him to lose, because what is he going to be? Just someone on there? He can't be anything but the champion. But I think he's been champion long enough, and I think they're sold out on Javon, because he's not been going away from this title picture. He's just remained in it this whole time. I think that they may put this on Javon, and they may bring Oba Femi up to the main roster finally. Even though it seems crazy, it's very David and Goliath,
Okay.
So you're calling Javon.
Okay.
I'm going to call Javon for the shock of it all, and hoping that Oba's finally coming up.
Before you go, Steven, wasn't who was the guy that beat Moose?
Beat Moose.
Do we recall?
Went for what?
Leon
Slater.
His type.
Leon Slater. Yeah,
he's not. I wouldn't call him the same size.
He's comparable to Javon. This is a comparable matchup to that.
Yeah. I'm saying he's not the same size as Moose, but yeah, I think he's. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Like, there's precedent for this happening.
Yeah.
I can see it happening. I don't know, because I don't know.
I mean, this man belongs on the main roster. He belonged on the main roster from the minute he came out. He's just main roster material. He's got to get off NXT. But
okay.
Go ahead, Steven.
All right. This match is very interesting. So just for a little stat, Oba Femi has been NXT champion since January 7th. So you're looking at going on 9 months almost as NXT champion. He's been champion for 218 days plus. And
he was North American champion before that?
Yes, he was.
Or no?
He was. He was North American champion. Let me just while we're talking about that, let me just I'm just going to pull up some stats on that too, because he might have been the longest reigning North American champion. He's very much the Gunther of NXT, like when it comes to title reigns. When it comes to always having a title, Oba Femi held the North American title for 273 days. And he also won that in the beginning. So from January of 2024 to October of 2024, he was North American champion. And then from January of 2025, almost a year to the day of him winning the North American title, he wins the NXT championship. And now we're coming up on September. So maybe he's got a little more time left in him if they're going to model that same idea. But here's the thing, much like the North American title, Oba has beaten everyone and decisively. I wouldn't say he not squashed, but like very hardly anybody has had any kind of a claim to ask for a rematch with him, because he gets it done in the ring, and his reigns have been. It reminds me of Anderson Silva's prime in the UFC. He always had a bunch of fun matchups as middleweight champion, but they lined them all up and he knocked them all down. Like the old Uso theme, line them all up, knock them down like this, right? So Oba's been doing that. Now, one thing that we haven't discussed about Javon Evans, he is kind of, in some ways, the Jada Parker of the men's division. Like, he's always floating around, but they're not giving him that gold sucker, you know? And which is a problem you're going to have when Obafemi is the one holding that gold, you know? However, since NXT debuted on the CW, Javon Evans, not anybody else, but Javon Evans has gotten public pats on the back or attaboys from both Randy Orton and The Undertaker. If you count choke slams, Trick Williams has also gotten an attaboy from The Undertaker, but I don't know if I would count that. So anyway, whether he's ready or not, clearly some people with power in WWE see Javon as that guy, or he's going to be that guy one of these days. Just the question is that day going to be Sunday? And somebody already mentioned it, Justin did, and I'm glad he did because I was going to point it out. The only man to take gold away from Obafemi is Tony D'Angelo, of all people. And he didn't use the numbers game either, I don't believe, to do it. I think he beat him straight up for the North American title last year. And Tony is currently, by the way, you guys are muted if you're talking.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Sorry about that.
And so,
I was saying I love Tony.
oh yeah. So I don't know what they're doing with Tony. So if I can hit pause, I'm gonna give a little Zach Morris timeout on the Oba talk for a second. They have done something either really weird or really genius with Tony D'Angelo right now. Yeah. He had his whole thing with Luca and Stacks and stuff. And I want to say 3-4 weeks ago, in the last segment of the show, in the main event segment, they did a video package of Tony D'Angelo having dinner by himself in an Italian restaurant. And they totally did the last episode of The Sopranos and cut and like somebody was walking up on him and the show cut to black. And that was the end of NXT that night. No fitting. And we haven't seen or heard from Tony since.
No,
that
makes me want to cry.
They haven't even talked about him on commentary, which means
they haven't even said anything.
Which means one of two things to me. Because we were talking about this on our live streams. I think it would be a beautiful book ending if Tony, it depends if he's staying or going. And that's what I mean. If he's staying, I think they should bring Tony back, and Tony should walk in after this match, after Oba retains, and say, I'm the only guy who can take gold from you, and I'm coming to do it again. That's all he needs, because he's the only man in NXT to do it. And I'll give you this, let him do it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Give Oba one piece of kryptonite that he can't beat for whatever reason. And also Tony doing it on his own without a family now, like you could give him a different character. Now, if that's not what's happening, this is also the perfect way to write Tony off of NXT and call him up whenever they're ready to call him up, because that is a beautiful exit for that whole mafia cinema story they've been telling for years in NXT.
Yeah.
So whoever's idea that was is amazing. And totally you can tell that Vince is gone, because Vince doesn't watch TV. So he never would have signed off on that. So anyway, so I know. All right, time in. So we'll Tony D'Angelo love.
You did say who you thought was going to win in that story, though.
In that story, if Tony's involved.
Oh, because you said when Oba retains.
Yeah. So I think,
does that mean you have Oba?
if I only would have Oba if I truly believed Tony was going to come back into the picture.
Oh,
but
gotcha.
I'm not convinced that he will. And I do think, you made the point, B, and we've talked about it. Who's left for Oba? Like, you can't say Jasper Troy because he's already beat him. Like they Undertaker caned that match like immediately. And so, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody who has stepped to Oba has had a good match with, like whether it's Miles and I want to give Oba so much credit in his reign, because on paper, if you're not watching NXT, you're like, who are these nobodies he's defending the title against? But when you watch the matches, he has you thinking, hey, Miles Bourne could be the next NXT champion. Like,
he puts people over for sure to be such a big dominant dude.
Yeah, Yoshi Inamura could be the next NXT champion. He is I know it's a controversial name right now, but he's the best of what Brock Lesnar can do when it comes to being an in-ring partner. Like, he's still a monster, but he also knows how to make other people look like they have a chance. And he doesn't just do it because he likes the guy he's in the ring with. He does that with everybody. And at the end of the day, at the end of the match, he's like, oh, no. I'm still the monster. I'm still the ruler. I love the way he cuts promos, because he cuts promos like an old school wrestler. Like, I could see Obafemi's promos with Tony Schiavone at 605 on TBS, where he's like, I'm the ruler. I'm in charge. None of you are as good as me. He's like, I want to first, but he's like, before I say that, he goes, you are very good. I see what you can do. You're going to have a bright future. You're just not going to have it when you step in the ring with me. Now, when you're done, you chase your dreams, because all your dreams come to die in front of the ruler. Like,
yes.
It's a Miles Bourne. I'm like, let's go. So I think we've been getting appetizers of what Oba can do in all these matches, letting us believe for a second. And right now, in the current roster that we have, I think Javon Evans is like the ultimate make you believe babyface.
Yeah.
Like, he can do so much. And I agree with B. I think it's time for Oba to do more. I don't know if that means he takes a little vacation, like he does it on Monday, or Friday or whatever. Like, I don't want anybody from NXT showing up on the main roster without a plan.
Right. Don't do that.
I think for 2 reasons, I'm going with Javon. And I'll tell you one.
You okay?
Because they've been telling us for months that Javon's going to be that dude one day. And 2, if you're going to have a babyface champion, eventually you're going to need to have guys who you might actually believe can take it from him. I don't believe anyone in NXT can beat Oba right now. And the people I did believe could beat him lost to him. So
absolutely.
If Tony's not in the picture, and I don't believe that he is, and I think that would be a better story, I think they're going to do it to Javon. And I think Javon as champion will open up other challengers that Oba can't open up. One of which I'm going to push down the line, I think, is a heel turned Ricky Saints.
Well, they need to do something to redeem Ricky Saints, because they ruined him with the Ethan Page thing. I mean,
and then 2 weeks ago, they had a video package where they were doing the rematch between Ricky Saints and Jasper Troy. And they were both cutting pre-recorded promos. If you would just read the transcript, Jasper Troy sounded like the babyface and Ricky Saints sounded like the heel. And I'm like, ooh, okay. Ricky's got that. He's got that Rock, that Dwayne, that that natural charisma that you kind of want to smack in the teeth a little bit. And he can't stay face for long like that. I think he'll be too good. I think he'll be too good as a heel. And I'm sorry, but if you try to turn Ricky heel against Obafemi, I'm a laugh. I'm like, bro.
Yeah. Oh no.
Jasper Troy sent you through the stage. Obafemi's gonna kill you dead. So I need to believe that he could win. So anyway, I'm thinking about the future. Obafemi's gonna lose this title one of these days, and it's gonna be to somebody.
He has to.
And unless it's the resurrected corpse of Goliath of Gath, it's not going to be somebody who we think can beat him, because
it's got to be a total
indestructible.
Shocker. Here's the thing. I know that did you
It'll
see
be JC
UFC
Jane.
1?
You gotta see UFC.
Did you see UFC 1? Did you see UFC 1?
Oh, Hoist Gracie. Is that what we're getting
If
at?
you saw UFC 1, you would have seen Hoist Gracie and you would have been like, oh, this dude's going to die. You would have never for a minute thought he was, every time a dude Obafemi size got in the ring with him, you're like, oh, he's going to die. He would beat these dudes so fast.
Okay.
To where it's the most popular jiu-jitsu, like to this day, that everybody wants to know outside of Krav. Because it wasn't about your size. It was about your skill and your technique and what you knew how to do. One of the reasons also that AJ Lee was so successful, she knew she was little, but she knew how to climb on you like a monkey and stuff. You know what I mean?
That's right. She liked to climb on you like a monkey.
And Javon can not only fly and jump, but he knows how to use his body and throw his weight, and he's just good. So, and yes, he's young, but did you really think Roxy, we did not think Roxy was going to be the champion that young, that fast, go as far as she did. We didn't think she was going to win over Homegirl when she did that, the lady from Japan who almost killed her. And even when they stripped her title, look at her now. I mean, sometimes they see stuff in the younger ones that we don't necessarily see.
It won't be, it won't be a ladder match, but just hearkening back to another moment, if I can try to sell A on this idea just one more time.
Because he's like, what?
I want to go back to 2002, I think, Monday Night Raw, Jeff Hardy versus The Undertaker. Versus Biker Taker. I think if we can have that kind of dynamic with Javon and Oba, make yourself famous, kid. Make yourself famous. I think it's going to be, and one, I think this is going to be the match of the night. For sure, because whether I'm right or wrong, about this, I do think Javon is going to do that Jeff Hardy thing of, I'm going to keep taking more and more risks because that's what it's going to take to topple this giant.
Absolutely.
And it's either going to pay off or he's going to go down in flames. And I think it's just going to be a fun match either way.
But who won that match? Who won that match?
Well, that was the undefeated.
Well, it was a ladder. It was a ladder match. It was a ladder match. It's different. Vince was in charge back then. It didn't matter.
Right.
The guy who won that match is the guy who went to Javon Evans backstage and said, "You need to start aiming for bigger things."
All right, but he also said to the ruler, "This is your yard," and they dapped it out. Come on now. Come on.
Hey, man, you should be happy.
You
should be happy that we're both picking against you here. Like you,
because if you win, you'll get the trophy.
All right,
there you go.
All right,
so
I'll stand on my own.
If I may, we'll do a quick recap of the picks and just to let everybody know where we stand. So for those who are, and obviously everybody bring your picks with you Sunday when we watch Heatwave together, and we'll keep track of all of our predictions together. But where we all agree on Team Canada, and we all agree on Dark State. By the way, A&B, if I misrepresent your picks in any way during this breakdown, please let me know and I'll change it. Now we differ on 1, 2, 3, the other 4 matches. So the outlier in Jordan Grace versus Blake Monroe is me. I'm the only one picking Jordan. The outlier in the number 1 contender women's triple threat.
Wait. Who did you have in that? I thought you also had Jordan Kelly. What said her? Alani Jordan.
No, not that match. Jordan Grace. He had
Jordan
Blake.
Grace.
This is Jordan Grace, Blake Monroe. Sorry, you're right. Jordan and Jordan.
Got you. Okay.
I'm the only one who picked Jordan Grace to beat Blake Monroe. Although to be fair, B said that Jordan Grace would beat Blake Monroe within an inch of her life. She would just lose the match. So in the women's triple threat match, B is the only one who picked, I believe B is the one who picked Miss Parker. Is that correct?
Yes.
And me and A both picked Miss Jordan.
That's right.
Miss
we pick winners.
Miss Mello herself, Miss Mello to be.
Did you just call Miss Parker a loser? When we meet her in person, okay, I'm gonna point that out.
B's gonna tell her, yeah, she's like, I never said that.
He said you were a loser.
Yeah. B is also our outlier for the TNA Knockouts Championship. She's the only one who picked Masha, who picked a TNA talent to win that match. And then also, oh shoot, I lost my sorry. And then last but not least, A is our outlier for the NXT Championship, the only one picking the ruler to retain. So, B has a pathway to run away with these predictions. She's got more outlier choices than the rest of us. So it'll be, I'm excited because we have a real diversity of picks out of 6 matches out of this. Okay. So we have, we'll see what happens Sunday. And we'll see if we have a new ruler of the Coalition Cup here, and who will take home the JPEG of glory. So
of glory.
Anyway, and then putting on screen, because they're so generous and great partners in crime and in love and passion of wrestling. Great stream marked by Wrestling Chat. Smash that like button like your Obafemi facing anybody in between the months of January and August. Doesn't matter what title he holds. He just destroys them. And please destroy that like button after you have clicked it. But make sure you click it next time.
After you have clicked it.
After you have clicked it. Please don't be hasty and destroy it too soon. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Any final thoughts, any closing arguments, any promises to notify NXT talent of each other's behavior, A and B, that you want to share with the class before we call it a night?
I'm gonna tell you right now, my predictions are here to dominate and collect. Okay, Lashley.
Wrong show all the way around.
Oh, my bad.
I thought you were almost going Tyson with that for a second. I was like,
no, I think it will be fun to watch and fun for me to win the cup. So,
okay, very confident.
I mean, I can act confident. That don't mean I am.
If we're
Jordan Grace, take note.
All right. Well, if we're cutting promos, I want to thank A&B Convos as always for making time for these prediction shows. They're so much fun. They're an inspiration. They help me chase my dream of getting to talk about wrestling with a great community such as yourselves, everybody in the chat. And I know they have big dreams as well, not only to get 100 subs by the end of the year, 100K subs by the end of the year, but big dreams to win the prediction cup. And Sunday is where your dreams come to die, because this cup isn't going anywhere. I'm going to print out a JPEG of that and tape it on Ultimate Warrior's face just to show everybody.
I love it.
That I'm the dealer. You know why? Because this says so.
That's right.
I can't not cut a 1985 Flair promo whenever I have time. No, listen, we always have so much fun together. Thank you guys for taking some time on a Thursday night.
Of course.
I miss. I'm one of these days. I'm gonna have to sneak into your studio. I miss being in the same room together. It's been a minute since we've been in the same room, so we'll have to.
Oh, you're not gonna have to sneak because both of us got some surgeries coming up on Fridays, so we may need you.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well,
so
we'll figure that.
Talk to you about some dates.
Yeah, we'll put all that down together, absolutely, and should be a lot of fun. I'll bring a belt and we'll have a good time as my entry fee. And all right, well, thank you.
Do entrance music with his belt.
Oh, that would be fun. Okay, we talk about that. Absolutely. All right. Well, chat, thank you guys so much for spending some time with us. SmackDown's tomorrow. Heat Waves on Sunday, excuse me. And so we will see both of you guys then. And before we close, like I say every time, listen, if you want to complain and be jaded and cynical, it is the easiest thing you can do in the world to be a wrestling fan and be on the internet at the same time, but not here. And when I say here, I mean like there and here, both of us together as a coalition. because here, mark is not a dirty word. First of all, every wrestling fan you've ever met, including people who wrestle for a living that are fans of wrestling, are marks.
Yes.
Wrestling doesn't survive without marks. And being a mark just means you believe. Believing makes wrestling better and makes a lot of things better, but especially wrestling, because what are we doing if we're not believing? So thank you guys for believing, for giving your predictions. I will see you right here on Sunday. I'm sure A&B will be ready and rocking and ready to go tomorrow night for SmackDown. Make sure you show them some love and be there. And I'll see you guys on Sunday. And until then, we'll see you for Heatwave. Stay cool, everybody.